Now, I'm going to show you a couple props, and the reason I say these are props because you're not going to use this size of wood, hopefully, on anybody's guitar. But if you have binding on a guitar that is called purfling, it's actually wood. And it'll be thin strips of many different species, from maple to rosewood to Madagascar, all kinds. You hear all kinds of names. So you want to be able to glue the pieces together, and there's a technique that you need to follow that kind of is rigid in most rules in wood repair. These are standard rules that you must follow in most wood repair, and we're just doing it on a miniature level, but I want to show you with the props what we're going to do here. So here's one thing that's really very cool about Gluboost accelerator, which I'm sure if you're not familiar with, do check the website. It's the best. I've never seen anything better, and I've never used anything better. So what I like with it, it's a prep agent as well. A lot of people forget that you got to have a clean surface. So what they'll do is they'll take, you know, rubbing alcohol will work. Sometimes they'll take mineral spirits, or sometimes they'll say, oh, I'll just scratch it up with a bunch of sandpaper and then it'll stick better. Sometimes you actually make the bond not stick by doing some of those things. So what I want to do is I'm going to do, this is top grain right here. You can see this is really cheap pine. You know, it's a low budget here. Cheap pine, and this is what's called end grain right here. So this is the circles of the tree. This is what it looks like when it's really rough. So I took it to the sander and I sanded it pretty flush so it would sit on flat. Now what's going to happen here is if I put water on this and I put water on this, the water's going to pool up on here, but it's going to soak right into this bad boy instantly and just disappear, which means we don't have a glue bond. So what I like to do, spray a little Gluboost here, and I like to clean up the area that's going to pool up the most so it'll harden faster, and you know, it preps it really well. Now I don't want to put the glue onto that part. I want to put it onto the end grain part. And with this, I'm going to go with the thin. The thin's going to have a tendency not to creep into it as far as possible, but I want to give you a little idea of what it looks like. Now, as the wood's getting darker, that's because it's soaking up. And I'm just going to put a little bead here. I'm not going to, you know, get all crazy and brush it on or anything like that, because it's going to want to soak up into the end grain really fast. So I can see it's already spreading out. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So it's not going to dry yet because I haven't touched it with the Gluboost accelerator. So now what we want to do, I just want to do that. I'm not going to clamp this. I'm going to use a couple squirts of this accelerator. Don't, if I can say this too many times, don't over apply the accelerator. The stuff works great. A little will go a long ways. It will find where it needs to go. So what's happening right now is this glue right here is already dried. The glue is slowly still creeping into the end grain here, but I'm certain we have a really, really good firm. I'm trying to move this, I'm trying to pull this apart as hard as possible. I can't. It's stuck. So prep work is very important. Like I said, you're not going to be using stuff this big, but maybe you make jigs and things like that for a guitar repair where you want to put like a tuning gear on here, or you want to build something and you don't have time to wait overnight for glue to dry, which is, you know, a time suck. This is a good way to do it. But what I'm implying here is on a miniature level inside the guitar, when you're doing some brace work on an inexpensive acoustic, or you're doing some purfling work or some bridge repair work, keep this in mind: end grain, top grain.